SVC Media.
Welcome to the iGaming Daily Podcast, analysing the news from the betting and gaming industry all over the globe, supported by Optimove, the #1 CRM marketing solution for the iGaming market.
Today on the iGaming Daily Podcast, we'll be looking back on the first half of a panel session from last week's Affiliate Digital Day and exploring the world of influencer marketing. Joining Casino Beats' editor Joe Streeter are experts from firms such as Clever Advertising, Affiliados, and Smart Socials to discuss influencers and the value of social media marketing, a topic that has definitely hit the headlines following Brazil's ban on X throughout the country. For listeners who are interested in hearing the full episode, make sure you click the link in the description to register, where you'll gain access to not only this panel session, but an additional 5 panel sessions looking into various topics such as SEO, generative AI, and social responsibility. So, with that, here's the first half of the panel session titled Influencers and the Value of Social Media Marketing. Take it away, Joe.
Thank you for joining us on the Affiliate Digital Day, and our conversations continue now. We're going to take a look at the role of influencers and the role of social media, a really important subject. And we have really seen the evolution of influencer marketing. We've seen various social media platforms accelerate in recent years. That's something we're going to explore, how operators can best tap into these ecosystems and maximize engagement from new and existing audiences. And we have a fantastic panel to do that. They come from all different corners of the industry, and they really bring a lot of influence themselves. So I will hand over to them to introduce themselves. Marina, if you could tell us a little bit about what company you're from, yourself, and how your company uses influencers as well.
So, hi all. So basically, I'm here representing Clever Advertising. So we are an affiliate, one of the biggest affiliates in the world. Traditionally, Clever Advertising was focused on media buying within the iGaming industry. So 4 years ago, recognizing the evolving market dynamics and the opportunities for innovation, we expanded into new verticals, and that's when we created the Bold department. So basically, the Bold department works with influencers. We hire and engage with influencers to promote the operators that we collaborate with, maintaining always a focus on performance and acquisition while building also brand awareness for them. So the model we use with influencers is really similar to the media buying one. So we basically select influencers with align with the brand values and the audience demographics to promote our partners' offerings. So this approach was created because we observe a market gap 4 years ago. And basically our mission here working with influencers is to create value for everyone involved. So the operators, the audiences, and the influencers as well.
Brilliant. And I'm sure this panel discussion will bring a lot of value to all involved too. And Luiz, if you could just introduce yourself too.
Of course. Hello, everyone. Good morning. So we're at Smart Social. We are a one-stop shop in terms of media investments. So we don't need to hire a lot of media companies to do your media investments. So in terms of branding, in terms of traffic, nowadays we focus on gathering new media kind of investments in our ecosystem to nurture it. We always listen to brands and to new different media investments all across the board. We work with influencers on the traffic side and of course on the branding side as well. So for short partnerships and for long-time partnerships as well. And in LATAM, we do also offline media and brand ambassadors. So now one thing that we are adding quite strong on our media board is sports. So we are dealing with a lot of football players all around. We are signing new players this week on Mexico and Spain. We've been strengthening our side of media assets to present new kind of ways to the brands.
Nice. The transfer window's over, but you're still busy making a lot of signings, Luiz. It's exciting times ahead for sure. And Carlos, if you can introduce yourselves.
Sure. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining. So I'm CEO of Tipster Chat. So Tipster Chat is an app that connects professional tipsters and sports bettors. So for sports bettors is a place where they can find and follow tipsters and, get access to their, content, follow their tips. And ultimately, basically, the goal is for them to win more bets thanks to these, professional tipsters. And for tipster, it is a tool that they use to publish and sell tips and content and better engage with their audiences and monetize them. So basically, it's a sort of an OnlyFans tool, for tipsters. Makes their lives easier, and they can make a lot more money, monetizing their audiences. So we are quite strong in Mexico and in Spain and Brazil. So Spain, I would say Spain and LATAM is, our main focus geographically. And influencers, well, of course, they are at the core of our business. So it's all about, for us, influencers, because tipsters, they are the, in our opinion, the influencers of the sports betting, world. So the way they, create their communities, the way they engage with them, the way they, acquire, new followers, all the strategies they follow, they are mostly based on social media, especially on, things, places like Instagram. So, for us, working with influencers and social media is, what we do on a daily basis. So pretty important.
Nice. Certainly really important. And Alessandro, last but certainly not least.
Hello, everyone. So I'm Alessandro Valente, one of the co-founders of Super Afiliados, which is one of the oldest affiliate companies in Brazil and acting in Latin America as well. And I co-founded other businesses such as Bet7K, and I have involvements in events as well. And we have been exploring this segment for at least 10 years now in different aspects or different approaches. Now more and more going to the new verticals of TikTok and Instagram, and so, but always having this network of affiliates based pretty much on influencers or people that influence the experts, etc., tipsters. And so, yeah, it is very important to have such a conversation in this moment, especially in Brazil, where we see things going in the wrong direction sometimes, and perhaps we could shed some light here to the audience.
Yeah, most certainly. And as you can tell, we've got a really decorated panel cast of figures from the industry. But Alessandro, I'm going to keep you in the hot seat with a little bit of a wild card question to kick us off. A few social medias were mentioned, a few regions were also mentioned as you guys went round and did your intros. LATAM, Brazil, TikTok, Instagram. One thing that wasn't mentioned, and maybe by a conscious decision, was Twitter or X in Brazil. We've obviously seen quite a big decision this week or last week recently to ban X in Brazil. What's your reaction to that, Alessandro? Like, how is that going to impact the way these new operators reach audiences?
It is the worst kind of a decision that a very stupid judge decided to do something that it's unbelievable. I was in America, just arrived from America, and the land of free speech, and we come to see such a stupid situation. And X, or the Twitter, as I call it, because I'm old enough to say that, it is very strong in Brazil, and lots of influencers to a high level, they use that. And it's a shame to see, the scenario that we have to face now, and banning websites. It was one of the least things that I was expecting, but let's see how he ends up, because it's a lot of diplomatic problem now generating between the countries, not only the company and the so-called Alexandre as judge. I have a meeting next week with one of the ministers in Brazil, and this is top of my agenda,
Wow.
because we are also facing blocks on operators, and certain states requested just moving to blocking things. I know it's not the main subject here, but since you touched the topic, so a few weeks or a month ago or something like that, the state of Rio de Janeiro ordered that some websites, like 100 plus websites, should be blocked in their state, but the operators, they couldn't, or the telecom companies, they couldn't actually block just in Rio, they blocked in the whole country. So it was a mess. So blocking things, in my view, it's completely outrageous. We shouldn't be seeing that kind of thing happening in Brazil, if it is a democracy, if it is. I'm not saying it is. And but yes, and then influencers are also affected, and companies that are also spending a fortune on ads, etc. Now it's also stopping everything, really.
I think, Joe, I think we're going to see this happening more and more. And so governments being more restrictive with, these platforms being more restrictive with industries such as, betting and gambling, like, it's happening with Meta and, how that impacts on WhatsApp, for example, or Instagram. Let's take, Telegram. The founder was just arrested a few days ago. In many geographies, it happened in Spain a few months ago. From time to time, some judges are blocking Telegram as well for different reasons. And I think what we're seeing, at least, from our end, is that it makes more and more relevant, platforms and apps like ours, where we provide the influencers, like a safe place to to engage with their communities. Everything, sports betting related. So for example, in our case, tipsters, many tipsters, they use Telegram as the tool to communicate and share tips and engage overall with their audiences. And Telegram is always on the hotspot as well. So, and, every time that, someone blocks somewhere, Telegram, they all come to us and say, hey, can I now just, start using, tipster chat? So I think that's important, that we can, as an industry, we can provide influencers also with, other options and alternatives, because I don't see how, this is, gonna change. In my opinion, this is gonna happen more and more. And so we just need to, create something that can, be an alternative, I think.
Yeah, it's not just a problem.
Question, since you touched bases on something extremely relevant, how do you plan to have an entity in Brazil, a representative office, or something like that? Because that's how Twitter now is being blocked, and the influencers are going to be somehow regulated in Brazil as well. So if they spot that an influencer is saying something that shouldn't be said, on like offering free bonuses, because the free bonuses is going to be also not allowed, then they will have the authority to block whatever app or website you have, unless you have someone here to represent your company and then pay whatever fines. And so it's the ideal solution is not to block anyone. But how do you think you can tackle that in Brazil, at least?
Yeah, I mean, so for example, we started in Spain. In Spain is one of the more restrictive jurisdictions when it comes to betting, and so bonuses were banned for some time on now, and so pretty much there was nothing you can do on the marketing side with sportsbook. So no promotions, so not at all. So basically, they came to us, the sportsbooks, because we have different ways of, engage. And so at the end of the day, so for example, one of the things we have is that, we have the tipsters that, they are publishing, their bets, they are sharing their bets, and they are saying, oh, I'm placing this bet on this, certain bookie. And that's, from our view, that's the best way of promoting, a bookie, because basically you see someone who is very, successful on, making money with bets, saying, hey, this is the place where I, place most of my bets. So it's like, different angles that you can follow when, markets become more and more restrictive. But I totally agree that, it also makes it, more complicated to operate in different markets. There's a thing about when it comes also with sportsbooks, there's this unfair sometimes situation where some of them which are based on some jurisdictions which are more restrictive, they are not competitive with some others which are on this overseas, like so they don't have many of the restrictions and many of the burdens that the other has. So this creates this unfair competitive market that we're going to see in other sectors as well. So,
but do you think educating the influencers to a certain extent, or meaning like, I don't know, trying to give them some sort of tutorial on how to deal in that some geolocations would be something that could be productive?
I think so. And I think Brazil is a very good example of a market where there is, at least in our space, there is a lot of education or training materials. So I know that many tipsters, they have a lot of courses, like webinars, and so basically they create a lot of materials to better educate bettors as well. So I think they are very open to trying to adjust how they behave and to the new legal environment. The problem, I think, is that as long as they have options that doesn't need to comply with legal requirements in a given market, things will be easier for them. So, most of them, they would choose it. It's what happened, for example, with Telegram compared to us. I mean, we need to be compliant with, in every market we operate. So that, as I mentioned, in Spain, we cannot mention or, promote any sort of bonuses, etc. On Telegram, it's just the jungle, right? So they can do whatever they want. And so that's, I think that's the challenge that they can understand that, making things a little bit more complicated in the long run, it will be better for them.
One thing I would like to highlight here is that, we know what market we are in. So those things are going to be more and more in the news and all around the board across time. So I think influencers, and not only influencers, but also brands, they need to be aware that people are aware of our world now in a mass basis. So you need to invest some of your time and efforts to dilute the risk of investing on only one channel. So, for example, there are influencers that came to me this week and said, "Luiz, help me. My source of income is out. Twitter is blocked here in Brazil. X is blocked. We don't call it X here in Brazil. I mean, we still call it Twitter." But even though it's blocked, people are coming to us and saying, "Help us. We need to do other things to live, because now our main source of income is out." People who used to focus on Twitter, right? And now we have to focus on somewhere else. And this is a lesson that not only influencers need to learn, but also brands. So I see a lot of brands here in Brazil as well, investing only in one channel. So like, for example, only organic on Instagram and so on. But you need to dilute the risk, of course. And you need to, of course, build your own structure as well. Sometimes that's hard, of course. But you need to be aware that every social that you're in, you're just renting a space. It's not yours. So you're just using that on that short period of time, or maybe it could be a long period of time, but you're renting. So you need to dilute the risk and invest across other channels as well.
And Luiz, if I can follow up there as well, when when you mentioned that you're bringing new players in this week, new people in this week. Yeah. When you're bringing them in, do you have some type of education for them? Do you let them know about the ecosystem they're entering? Is there some kind of onboarding process that Yeah,
when I mention new players, it would be new partner players, and so for other brands in Latam, for example. And one thing that I would like to mention, since we are dealing with blocking and restrictions and everything, some things that we are putting on our contracts. So we have a law team inside our team, and something that we are putting on the contracts is if the player signs on a league, for example, that has restrictions and bans him to post, the contract can be terminated. So that's something that brands are also asking for us, of course, because of how things are going in the market. So, for example, in Argentina, you can't hire soccer players in Argentina who currently are playing in the Argentina league. So that's something that's important to be on our contracts, and we make that safe for our clients. But you need to be aware, right, of regulations and bans and different kind of dealing with things on different geos, right?
Yeah, that's really important. It's interesting to hear, the type of process that you have, and it is definitely very important. And Marina, I'll bring you in there. There's quite a lot to reflect on that we've already spoken about. Just your reflections on Brazil, and also the process and ensuring that kind of new people coming in, new influencers coming in are aware of the ecosystem they're entering and are educated about the kind of risks involved.
Yeah. So when it comes to Brazil, I think we are entering a little bit on a gray area. So Brazil is right now a little bit confusing when it comes to promote different operators. So we have influencers that are not currently promoting gambling in a very responsible way, which it kind of is bad for all of us. So for the affiliates, we that are really careful with this, and also to operators that are doing this job right. So this causes a little bit of confusion when it comes to hire influencers. And right now we are really careful when it comes to hire influencers, because we have to look at the content that was made before, because we know mostly all of them they currently promoted some illegal casinos or shady ones. So basically right now we are really looking forward to choose influencers whose values align with the operators that we work with. We are really careful with training and briefings, so we provide training sessions and really detailed briefings to influencers to ensure they fully understand the brand, the messaging, what is expected from them, and what they can or cannot say. And we really try to maintain regular communication with them and try to make them feel like a true extension of our team, to make sure that everything is running smoothly. When it comes to Twitter or X, it actually didn't affect us much. I think it really affects the operators that are promoting on X and Twitter. But as an affiliate, we weren't promoting on X a lot in Brazil. So in Brazil, we use mostly Twitch, Instagram, and YouTube. Those are our main performance channels. We actually use more Twitch and Telegram in Nigeria, for example, in which we have many, many tipsters. And I kind of agree with what Carlos said before. So actually we didn't, in Nigeria, for example, it is our top market, and they do not mention any bonus on their communication. So they only share their bet slips and their bets on the website, and the people really engage and go to the website and sign up with the influencers promo code. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Is that because, when you're dealing with influencers, they can reach an audience in a kind of sincere way, and the message really seems like it comes from, or not seems like, but does come from a genuine place, and audiences can recognize that, and it kind of resonates with them a little bit more?
Yeah, I think influencers, when it comes to advertising, they are more relatable to these new audiences than the traditional advertising. And when it comes to tipsters, mostly it's really organic advertising. So that's why we love tipsters so much, because it doesn't seem forced. They are just sharing their tips on their favorite website, and it really attracts a lot of these new audiences.
I want to make a comment, Joe, because sometimes brands get a bit confused about a concept there are influencers and there are content creators, and there's a big difference in that. So there are a lot of, for example, let's imagine ourselves, right? So we follow a lot of people in Instagram or Twitter or whatever social is for that content, not for their opinions and how they think and different aspects in terms of that. So There are some people that are being followed only by their content. So they make something cool, or maybe some cool additions and some of that, but they don't really influence their audience. I mean, if they tell them to do something, or if they recommend something, they don't, it's not really relatable, you know?
Yeah.
Brands need to keep aware of that, because I'm seeing more and more brands looking only at numbers. I mean, numbers are awesome, of course. They need to be part of the analysis, but you also need to work with people who are able to differentiate who are content creators and who are influencers, true influencers for their audience. Of course, that's not like a science, you know. It's part art, part science. So you need to work and to understand this along the way. But I mean, that's something that you need to do, this kind of analysis.
Yeah. And for us as an affiliate, we are really pressured by results, because we are not the operator itself. We are an affiliate. So our main goal and our team's main goal is FTDs, first-time depositors. So that's when it gets tricky, because FTDs should be our number one priority. But I will agree with Luiz. That's initially on the first stage of the partnership, the most important KPI for us is really the high quality content that the influencer is delivering, and not only the results. Because I think that when it comes to results, signups and FTDs, we can collaborate to improve these results, even if the initial ones are below expectations. So yeah, high quality content is really, really important, even for affiliates.
So totally agree. I think that one of the great things about working with influencers, it could be also like threat at some point, but if they generate content and good quality content, it is more effective. At least is what we see. It is more effective as a tool to generate FTDs, for example, than all the advertising that we can do on the app. So we have, in our case, like, banners, and we have, we do like CRM campaigns, messages like promoting our, partners, the operators, promoting their in the markets where it is allowed, like, bonuses and, all of that. And it doesn't work as well as, one tipster just, publishing, as I said at the beginning, on that sportsbook, or just, saying, hey, you know what, I'm going to create this, special group for the US, Open. I'm going to publish all my, premium tips there, and I'm going to, place all the bets on this, operator. So just make sure that, you have your account. And by the way, if you are in Mexico, there is this bonus that you can, you can use. So, and this is working, a lot better. So I think that's the good opportunity about, working with, with influencers. Of course, you need to make sure that, these influencers are, the right ones. They are, creating good content. And I think there's one question. I don't know, maybe we'll take questions later, but, be careful that, of course, there might be some, damage that they can cause as well.
Yeah. Before we come on to that, Alessandro, I'll give you a chance to kind of chime in there. And I
used to defend that cause for many, many years. And on Super Afiliados, I still actually do that. I try to have, a quality more than quantity, etc., etc. But that for some reason, my business partner showed me that it could be a little bit different in a market very immature, such as Brazil. And I take as an example, he used to be an affiliate. So this business partner used to be an affiliate, and no one liked his traffic, because his traffic was kind of like junk traffic. And operators used to put caps and limits to his accounts. And overall, he was paying off, but like he used to take so much time, and he was not an expert, or no traffic coming from expert quality, blah, blah, all this, excuse my French, but all this bullshit. And then he decided to become an operator. And now he's the number 2 website in Brazil.
Wow.
And, he produces 500, 600,000 FTDs. And so, I don't know. I tend, you see, my point is I used to call Even on the conference that we organize here, we always try to influence the influencers to, try to, work this way, don't do like junk traffic, etc., etc. But it's actually proving not only me, but the industry somehow wrong. And I don't know if that is because the market is such as very new and immature, but that's my reality in Brazil. And so the quality, it is nice, but 100 FTDs over 650 or 650,000 FTDs make me a little bit skeptical about when I, force this subject to my affiliates at Super Afiliados or during the conferences, etc. Because I don't know. It's I doubt it's the only way. Maybe we should just try to make these guys work in a better way. But right now, it's working pretty well in Brazil.
Thank you for listening to today's episode of iGaming Daily, supported by Optimove, the #1 CRM marketing solution for the iGaming market. A reminder, if you would like to listen to the full episode of Influencers and the Value of Media Marketing, along with access to 5 additional panel sessions, make sure to register via the link below in the description, and make sure to tune in to tomorrow for more iGaming Daily.
Thank you for listening to today's iGaming Daily podcast, supported by Optimove, the #1 CRM marketing solution for the iGaming market. If you want to find out more about some of the subjects raised today, feel free to explore any of the sites in the SBC News Network or check out the latest edition of the SBC Leaders magazine. Happy reading.